We're building an incredible team who is serving our community, and vice versa, our community feel like they can come home to through us. Whether it's aspiring to build something greater, potentially a development, or maybe it's their first home. It's about putting that puzzle together, their wants, their needs, and then our experience and making it all fit. They've got a family which wants the best for them. Let us guide you home.
Find your cushy place in the Brooks Ghost 15.
We're building an incredible team who is serving our community, and vice versa, our community feel like they can come home to through us. Whether it's aspiring to build something greater, potentially a development, or maybe it's their first home. It's about putting that puzzle together, their wants, their needs, and then our experience and making it all fit. They've got a family which wants the best for them.
Now with conditions like this, we're expecting lots of PBs to be broken this morning, not much wind.
All right, welcome back to the Launceston 10k now. So we've got the half marathon out of the way at the McGrath Running Festival, and we're about to get underway with the 10k. Really good field, set up a really easy to follow course. This one, Pat, a little bit easier than the half. Welcome back to you.
Thanks, mate. No, I mean, we've got up on the screen there, straight out, no hill that they had to contend with for the half marathon. Usually the way back feels a little bit quicker. You've got a little bit of a downhill, and you know, most of the top guys out here today, this is a good hit out, and it'll be interesting to see how Jimbo goes up against Brett Robinson. Obviously the challenge is there, but Jimbo's a defending champion, a local, so all Launcestonians, all Tasmanians out in the course, make sure you give Jimbo a big cheer as this race gets ready to start.
Yeah, beautiful start time at 10:30. It's going to be about 10 degrees. There is not a breath of wind really, so this is perfect racing conditions for 10k, and obviously we are so lucky to have a dual Australian record holder on the start line in Brett Robinson.
Yeah, obviously high calibre athlete. Brett's had an incredible last 2 years, whether it be over a 10 half or obviously the marathon where he beat Rob De Castella's record last year. He's a top athlete. He's one of the best in the world, so we're privileged to have him down here. And then you look at the women's field as well. Unfortunately, late out with Izzy Bat-Doyle falling ill overnight, but Lisa Jane Wakeman taking on Leanne Pompiani.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic set of racing, and you know, we shouldn't discount any of the athletes in the men's, and especially Andre Waring. Got himself a spot in the World Cross, late injury there to an athlete, so got himself a go there, and he's run 7:52 for 10k, so he's going to be up the pointy end. Yeah,
definitely. He's got the toe, 7:52 over 3k. So I remember training with him a long time ago at Box Hill. Back then he was an 800 metre runner, and yeah, I think he'd be someone that probably wouldn't want to have around for that last 400, same as Jimbo. So I imagine Brett would obviously be trying to shake them pretty early, based on PBs. He'll probably do that today. But going through the field, other Tasmanian, Sammy Clifford, the young fella. 29.33 last year, good form. I think he's sort of rejuvenated, and he had a lot of pressure on him, I think, as a young athlete going up, running fast times at such a young age. So to see him back in full swing is really good. Dougie Hammerlock, another one. Rounding out, we've got Adrian Potter. We've just flicked off those, doing some half PBs now, mate.
Yeah, and I just saw on the bottom there Bailey Mazeki-Hintz. So he's obviously down here and back in his home state. So he'll be another one to watch. 29.34. I don't think's really indicative of what he can actually run.
No, definitely not. And I shouldn't have forgot about him. I'm sure there'll be a Facebook message a bit later asking for a shout out. So talented runner as well. But going through the field, Logan Janetsky, Andre Waring, Jimmy Hansen, Ed Marks on debut. So he's ran 8 minutes for 3K, so pretty towy. Yeah, it's a fun race, this one. I think last year we had 16 athletes under 30 minutes, so you're not going to get too many 10K races around Australia where those sort of times are being set, and we're privileged to have it here on a beautiful day in Launceston.
And we're about to get underway here. You can see Nick Earl towing the start line. We spoke about him earlier. No crop top today, so that's a big win for everyone.
Well, that's right. He was watching the live stream, I reckon. He heard that. He switched it out last minute, but spoke to him yesterday. He said hopefully sub 31 is where he should be. He's coming back, obviously, after running a marathon in London, so that's a tough comeback. But he said anything over 31, and he won't be too happy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, talking about the London Marathon, where Brett's at after his 2:10.19 in London not that long ago. Obviously would have missed a little bit of training, but he's about to get underway here, and let's see how he goes, what he tries to do or what he wants to do with the field. He spoke last night that he might sit in.
Yeah.
He might not take up the pace, so we'll wait and see.
So just moments away from the big start here, 2023 McGrath Launceston Running Festival.
Leave a little gap, and we're 1 minute away from the start.
1 minute from the start, so for the Launceston 10K, so pretty easy course. They'll get to the end of the road here, flick a right, and then they'll get to the East Tamar Highway, and then they'll just head north on that, and they go straight out, straight back, and that's it.
Local MLC, Nick Dygan. How are you, Dykes?
I'm absolutely pumped, mate. This is just a fantastic event and a glorious day here in Invermay for the Launceston Running Festival. You must be thrilled, and just so proud of everybody who's turned out today. And go well out there, guys. Have a great run. I hope it's all you hope it will be.
Thank you so much. Yes, we are imminently away, so we're going to give you a countdown from 5. We've got these half marathon finishers coming through. And we'll count you down from 5 and blow the whistle. So clear the course, please, folks. Stand back on the fence. Half marathon finishers coming through. And we'll count you down from 5 and blow the whistle. So clear the course, please, folks. Stand back on the fence. Okay, Dykes, we're going to count you down. We'll let this Andrea across the finish line come through. He would saved a special spot for you, Andrea. Okay, Dykes. Go over the timing, that's all right, we'll wait for you. Andrea across the finish line, come through. And we're going to start the Launceston 10 2023 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, and so we're away. We're gonna see a familiar face at the front of the race. We've got the same pacer. So Al's back out there again. He did the full half, and he's back out there. He's going to give them about 2 to 3 Ks. He's hoping for in this half. So, and I think they're going to head out about 250 pace, and then see how that sets up.
Yeah, no, spot on. So, I mean, a big day for him. I'm sure he'll enjoy a nice rest and a bit of a sit back at the silos later after a big day on the track for him. But yeah, this race is underway. Obviously, a lot can happen over 10K. Still a long way to go, but we can see already at the start making their intentions clear. James, Andre, Brett. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to go past those 3 in the men. And then, as we said earlier, Izzy Bat-Doyle out, so Leanne Pompiani taking on Lisa Jane Waitman. Race record 28.31 by Jack Rayner in 2018. Geez, that's moving.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier. It's actually quicker than the Hobart Run the Bridge time. So it is amazing what he's done there, and obviously 31.49 from Jess last year in trying conditions. So that could be one that they look at today, Leanne and Lisa, to take down. But straight away you can see Brett takes the front. Jimbo's got the sit there, and Ed Marks there on his debut for the 10K just slipped in there to 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, exactly. 14.01 not too long ago for 5K, so pretty towy. As we said, conditions are perfect. Race record bonus is an extra $1,000, and then obviously the all-comers record another $1,000. Might be tough to beat Craig Mottram's 27.54 back in 2004, but certainly I think Brett will be going after the record, and if he does, little bit extra play money.
And I wonder if he can negotiate with Richard, because he's holding both records. There's an extra bonus for being able to do that.
I think that sounds good, and then he might have to rock up to Burnie a little bit later in the year and try and beat Stewie's and get all three.
Exactly. So they're away here, and we'll try and catch up with the women. They'll try and get a camera angle, and obviously quite congested. The good thing for the women here is they don't need a pacemaker. They've got a whole bunch of elite and sub-elite men around them, so they will do the pace for the women here. And you can see on screen there, Leanne looks like she's gone out. Lisa just sort of tucked in 2 or 3 back from her. So we're expecting that to be the 1-2 race there. But Leanne obviously in a really good spot. Plenty of athletes and local athlete Ben Covington there. Looks like he's doing some pacemaking.
Yeah, no, Cov's been around a while. Pretty toey fella, and yeah, he'd be a great pacemaker. He's really good to run behind. He's been around for quite a long time. So it's good to see, I guess, the Launceston or the Tasmanian battle. We'll see who comes out on top. Obviously, Jimbo leading that at the moment. And then in the women's, we've got some extremely good talent coming up through, which is good to see. I think Tassie distance running is probably the strongest right now that it's been for as long as we've known it.
And the men have lost their pacemaker very, very early, so I think that was always going to be the case. There wasn't a dedicated pacemaker, more of a match race for these guys, and obviously I think if Jimbo can win this one, this would be his most credentialed win. Yeah,
I think he did beat me once at table tennis, so that would be up there. Aside from that, though, of course, last year he came off the back of a blood clot. Lots of time, obviously, off the track, trying to get his health right. And for him to do what he did last year and run a PB, not only run a PB, but to win as a Tasmanian, that gave him a lot of confidence. And throughout the year, he's ran 1500 metre PBs, he's ran a PB over 3. So I think his confidence is sky high. And then off the back of Leonora, just last week running 4:08 for a mile, unfortunately getting beaten by Cam Myers there. But yeah, he's got a lot of confidence at the moment, and I think today's a good chance for him to cement himself as one of the leading men in Australian distance running.
Yeah, and if you take out the 2 Ugandans from Run the Bridge, he was the first Australian athlete across the line, so he is in fantastic form this year. As you said, flew to Western Australia last weekend. It'll be interesting to see what those long flights have done for him. Hopefully, in his warm-up, he looked pretty fresh, so hopefully that's going to play out today.
Yeah, definitely. I think a mile, if it was a 5 or a 10, maybe, but a mile he would have tapered off. Late in the week, probably a Wednesday or a Thursday, I would have imagined, and yeah, he should be primed for this. He's been putting the work in. It's good in Tassie, or good in Launceston. There's a good training group. It was sort of set up by Josh Harris and Sammy Clifford, James Hansen, Doug Hammerlock get together, and yeah, it's good to see these guys out there racing, and it'd be awesome to see Jimbo get across the line for a second time.
And obviously focusing here on Leanne, so she was one of our race favourites. It was meant to be a race in 3, but with the late withdrawal of Izzy, she looks like she's moving along nicely. One of the things that we must say is this is an extremely flat and an extremely fast course. There's probably not a better course in Tasmania. Burnie's got some hills, obviously Run the Bridge is well documented for the hills there. This is probably the premier 10k course in Tassie.
Yeah, it definitely is, and Leanne's, she's a top tier athlete. She ran 31:45 back in May for 10k, so she's in great nick. She's ran PBs over 5 and 10. You were saying earlier, so form-wise, she's going really strong. But then Lisa Jane Waitman, obviously, someone that's been known for quite a while. She's a 3-time winner. She's only done this race 4 times, so 75% of the time she wins it. So you can't go past her either.
Yeah, and as we focus in on the men, we've got it must be is this the 1k race? The 1k
the mile.
The mile.
The Live 8 mile, and these kids will be going hard. So straight off the bat, hopefully no one trips over. Great to see mums and dads out there running with their kids, and it's just great. You can walk it, run it. It's just good to have people out there, and when they come across the line, they'll get a beautiful medal, all thanks to Think Big.
So we're rolling here in the ladies. So it looks like Leanne and Lisa is there. So it is the match race in 2 there for them. Obviously a nice sit. Lisa probably like a little bit more cover, but a nice sit there in a group of amongst the men. It's going to work out well for them. That's one of the really good things. I know that in some of the races they have the split start, whether ladies would start first or the men would start first. This is one of the really good things when they combine them both. The women, like the men, get the pacemakers.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice flat course, but it's a long way, and you want to have a few around you. There's nothing worse than being in a pack and falling off the back and having that sort of long run home. So there's a lot of in that group, I guess, with Lisa and Leanne. I think Leanne looks like she's trying to push the pace. Based on this footage here, I don't think Lisa would have wanted to go out this hard. But there's a great pack there. They're all going to have a good sit, and we'll find out what happens a little bit later.
And while we've got him on screen, we might throw to an interview from last night with Brett Robinson. All right, here with our favourite for the men's 10K tomorrow, Brett. Obviously 6 weeks off London. How's the body feeling? Ready to go?
Yeah, not too bad. I ran London and it took me a while to get going. It took me a while to find my legs. A bit of sickness and just, to be honest, I just got a bit banged up from it, a bit more than usual. So, but feeling good now. Every session I just seem to be getting better and better. So I feel like I'm on the up, which is good. And I'm keen to run a 10K because I haven't run a hard 10K in a long time.
And many people, especially Tasmanians, will know you. You're a regular down in this scene. Course record for the half in 2020. Are you looking to take down good mate Jack's course record tomorrow?
I would like to. I'm going to wake up, see what the conditions are like, and see what these other boys want to do because I don't know. We watched the half on the TV just as we're at dinner, and it's a lonely time out there when you're attacking and you're in front. So I don't know. I might sit in and see what's going on, but. The back of my mind, I would love to take it off Jack.
And this is obviously one stepping stone for you've got a campaign into the Olympics. Where to from here?
Yeah, so this is 10K and then half marathon at Gold Coast and then Sunshine Coast, and then for the next 18 months is just getting ready for the Olympics. So I might run more marathons. I definitely will, but I just don't know when. I just want to make sure I'm on the up and feel like I'm nailing marathons by the time we get to the Olympics.
Well, good luck tomorrow. It's fantastic to have a dual Australian record holder here and obviously someone who holds a course record. And let's hope that Jack's record does go down tomorrow and you can hold both of them at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thanks, Brett. All right, so obviously Brett said in the interview that he might sit in. That doesn't look like it's apparent. He looks like he's taking up the pacemaking, and obviously they look like they've dropped Andre while we just went to that interview. So 10 minutes in, about a third of the way, and they've dropped Andre, who's probably one touted that was going to rival Brett.
Yeah, definitely. They'd be happy with that. Obviously, the pace is on. There's a huge gap between the first, and then Andre's sort of sitting in that sort of no man's land. So he's probably going to either want the other group to catch up to him or try and get back onto the front. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough run for him, just sort of sitting out there on his own. Ed Mark's gone out very quick here, which is good to see. Interesting battle, I think, between Adrian Potter and Logan Jansky. Last year they were only separated by 2 or 3 seconds, both back this year, so it'll be good to see how they unfold as well.
Yeah, and you can see in the background there, Sammy Clifford looks like he's heading up that second group, so he must be feeling okay and trying to press on a little bit. And when we look back at the leading females, Leanne's still got the pace there, and Lisa's not too far behind. But as we've said, Leanne's in fantastic form, 2 PBs in the 5 and the 10, both in the US in the last month. So she's flown back. She's in really good shape. Yeah,
definitely, and she'd want to win this one. It's her third appearance here. She was second at Run the Bridge earlier this year, so I think a lot of these runners obviously love to look forward to coming to the triple that Richard has down here with Epic Events and Marketing. There is some bragging rights between who's won Hobart, who's won Launceston, who's won Burnie, so there's a lot at stake, not just cash.
Yeah, and there's a lot at stake for these ladies and also men when we talk about the Olympics. It's 2024. I know it doesn't seem like we were too long ago for the last one, but 2024 for the next Olympics. Lots of spots up for grabs. Brett's obviously basically secured his spot to go to the marathon. He's run under the qualifying time, but there's still a lot of work to do there.
Yeah, exactly right. And we heard earlier Jimmy Hansen. He's obviously that's his goal is to make the team in Paris. So he's actually got a GoFundMe going at the moment where people can donate. Obviously, we were talking earlier the challenges that the athletes face, having to travel, recover, and if you're not supported, you've got to get to a certain level before you're fully funded. To get to that level, though, you feel like you need support. So it's a bit of a catch-22. But yeah, it's exciting to see Tasmanian athletics with Stewie McSwain, James Hansen, Millie Clark, Sammy Clifford. It's good to be in Launceston.
It's going to be interesting to see what Jimmy actually picks as his event. What is he going to pick as his event? Obviously, the 1500 is so difficult. Does he think it's a 5? Does he think it's a 10? It would be really interesting to see what he believes is going to be his best there.
Yeah, exactly. I think his best race would be 3K. Unfortunately, it's not at the Olympics. I think that's a perfect distance for Jimbo. He's got a lot of speed. As we said earlier, the men's 1500 team, there's sort of 8 guys that are running sort of 3:36 or under, so that's a tough one. I think the 5 will definitely be his choice. It's just whether about he can make that qualifying mark of 13:18.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. And it's a really good one for us if Jimbo can get up the front with the McGrath singlet on. So
yeah, good for the sponsor. Josh will be happy with that. So we'll just get the cameraman maybe to go a little bit further to the right so we can see McGrath in there. And Jimmy's also just joined on with ASICS recently, which is exciting for him. I think it's his first official sponsor. But yeah, at the moment, race in 3. Andre, as we said, just off the back. But Ed Marks looks really strong as well.
Yeah, he's one that is running really well. He finished second last week at St Anne's behind Andre, so he's obviously going reasonably well there. 14:51. I think he's got a lot of improvement left in him. So it'd be really interesting to see what he does here on debut. I didn't get a chance to chat to him beforehand about what he thinks he's going to run, but he's right up there with the 29-28 guys.
That's right. I mean, you go through the PBs and, you got 5 or 6 guys that are running quicker than 29:20. That would win most fun run 10Ks by a long way, but, you can see just how much the top 3 are pushing the pace to put so much gap between you guys like Sammy Clifford, Adrian Potter, Logan, as we just spoke about. These guys are moving at the moment a lot quicker probably than those other guys can, clearly, and at the moment, Brett's really on pace for race record.
Yeah, and we should mention this is how quick they're going. They've just dropped a bloke off the back who's run 28:31 last month. Like we're not mucking around here. It's a really good field, and they're 13 minutes 41 in. They're starting to approach that halfway mark in the turnaround. Yeah,
we'll get the half case split in probably. I reckon it'll be about 45 seconds. I think they're on definitely race record pace. So they'll be turning any minute. Not much wind. They all look pretty comfortable. At the moment, they're not single file, so usually when you start to feel the pinch, you want to get that draft, but they're spread out quite evenly. And at this point of the race, they're relaxed. They're going to be figuring each other out. And I think for James and for Ed, it's just about holding on to Brett on the way back.
Yeah, well, so the cameras just made the turnaround, so that means they must be close. And the race record pace is 14:16, but we know the first half is probably a little bit tougher, and they've just turned at 14:20, so it's very, very close to this race record. And I know Brett, deep down, be really keen to take Jack's race record.
Yeah, definitely. Jack's had a huge last 12 months, breaking the Australian 10K record. Obviously, he's been pushing towards the marathon, but his 10s and halves are probably where he's strongest at. And Brett and Jack are really good friends. I don't know, there'd be a little bit of bragging rights, so a little bit of rivalry, and I'm sure today Brett wants to show him who's really number one.
It'll be interesting to see. I wonder if Jack's tuning in from London as he's over there on a training camp to see what's going on over here. I'd imagine they are very close. They'd be looking at some results and those kind of things. And as they turned around, Andre was about 16 seconds odd back, so they've put a sizable gap there, and maybe he's doing what he said he's going to do. Ed Marks has taken up the pace, and Brett's going to sit in.
Yeah, no, well, Brett looks like he's he sort of led him on the way out, so he's going to tuck in and just see what unfolds. Jimbo looks really strong. It's hard to commentate on just 3. Obviously, there's a lot unfolding behind us. But at the moment, these 3, unless something crazy happens, these guys pace themselves pretty well. They train hard. This will be our top 3 finishes, I imagine, in the men's.
It'll be really interesting to see as they come down, the ladies. Obviously, Leanne's in front. Where does that sit? Where do they get the turnaround? That big group of men have just gone around the turnaround, so they must be close there, and she's looking for the 15:55. As we said, on the way back, they should be quicker. There should be a little bit of a breeze having them. It is probably downhill on the way back, so it'll be interesting to see where she gets to and where she turns.
Yeah, definitely. That women's race record, 31:49 from Jess Denson last year, so if they can break the record a year later, I'm sure that'll upset Jess a little bit, but that's a tough ask. 31:49 is very, very quick, and with I guess the women's field probably not as strong as it was last year. The guys will really have to push this last 5K if the girls are to break that race record.
They just made the turnaround there at about 16 minutes, so only 5 seconds outside the race record time. Plenty of it's plenty easy in 5K to make up that 5 seconds, so it'll be interesting to see how Leanne's feeling. She's trying to stamp herself as the #1 10K athlete in the country. Obviously, Izzy, unfortunately, not here today, unwell, so it'd be interesting to see. And Lisa, give her all the credit, 4-time Olympian, 3 times to World Cross, is probably more noted for her marathoning in 2:23:15 in Feb, 3rd all time. And then I think after that she went on to run another marathon about 7 days later.
That's right. So yeah, two marathons in 7 days. That sounds painful, but you know, she's strong. So if she pushes the pace now, Leanne would have her over the kick down. But if it came down to a strength battle, I don't think you can go past Lisa. Really good over cross country as well. She's had some great results. So it'll just be interesting to see. They've spread out now single file. It looks like Leanne's put quite a sizable gap to Lisa Jane from the footage that I can see here. So we'll just see what happens in the next 1 or 2 kilometres.
Has there been, you'd know more than me, Pat, but has there been a better credentialed athlete toe the line in Tasmania than Lisa? 4-time Olympian, 2 times at the Commonwealth Games. She's won silver and bronze at the Commonwealth Games. The only one that's probably jumps out to me is Jess Stenson.
Yeah.
Obviously a gold medalist, but she is a high quality athlete, and probably given that time of 2:23, probably stamped herself an Olympic spot again.
Yeah, definitely. I think credentialed as well as anyone. Your Jess Hulls, your Jess Stensons. Lisa's. She's had tremendous results so consistently. That's something that's hard to do as well. She's a 3-time winner here. She's represented Australia, more times than I've got fingers on my hands. So. I don't think there's a much better, all-rounded athlete as well. She's been known for the marathon, but she's ran really quick over 5:10 and a half.
And as you can see in the bottom corner there, as the men sort of make their way back into town, it's an interesting position here. I don't think, like, we know Brett's track credentials, and we know he was a 5 and a 10K guy beforehand and all that. I don't know if he wants to match race in a finish line battle with Jimmy Hansen.
Probably doesn't. I think that's, as you said, he spoke about sitting in. He didn't on the way out. He's getting a nice ride here now. Jimmy just on the shoulder of Ed Marks. Jimmy looks comfortable, looks strong. Brett does look like he's probably doing it the easiest at the moment, just by the facial expressions. It's going to be a tricky one to unfold. But yeah, as you say, if it came down to a sprint, out of those 3, I'd be picking Jimbo.
Yeah, fresh off the mile last week, sub 4 mile on the road with turns in it. His speed's obviously really good. It is an interesting decision for Brett to sit in. I would have thought he would want to go hard to try and break them before it gets to that. But Ed Marks is doing all the pacemaking on debut here. I don't think we would have predicted that before the race started.
No, not at all. I mean, it's interesting to see Brett on paper. Obviously, he's got the quickest PB by quite a lot, but tactically, we don't know how training's been going earlier this week. He could be coming in not super fresh, so having that little sit there, we're not used to seeing it, but that's going to be good for him. He'll freshen up, and we'll just see what sort of unfolds in this next 10 minutes. But they'd be approaching the 7K mark now, a 10K. Not when you're doing it doesn't feel like it's going quick, but watching it, these guys are flying, and they'll be back here shortly.
We just flick back to Leanne, and she looks like she is doing it quite comfortably. Not sure how she'll go compared to the race record, but she's got a nice sit. She's got a nice little group, and she just tried to cross across there to get to a bit closer to the racing line, but she's moving quite nicely and looks quite strong. But we would assume that, obviously, with her last month in the US and her results so far this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they'd be approaching the 6K mark. Just gone past the 6K mark. So the 7K split for race record will be 22:16. They were 5 seconds off at halfway. So we'll try and look for the K marker on the screen, and we can update and see how close she is to that race record. But looks comfortable. She's flying along. She's got a good little pack here. I think a few from in front, from the guys that have probably gone a little quick, might fall back. And if they get a nice bunch together, hopefully we can see a race record on the women's.
And the men would well and truly be over that 7K mark. So what are we talking? Probably 6, 7, 8 minutes away from the finish line here. So they're starting to move, and there's been no change there. I'm really surprised that Ed's taken up the running here. I would have thought that he'd want someone else to do it. Obviously, the big frame of Jimmy Hansen, any breeze that would be out there would be would be nice to be sheltered behind him, but they all look reasonably comfortable, and they all look like they're up for this fight today.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as we said, that the 8K split's going to be 22.49 for race record, so they're almost coming up probably with just about 2.2K to go. If it comes down to a kick, as we said, Jimbo, but all three look very comfortable. So, yeah, I don't know how you look comfortable running at 2:55 per kilometre, Shawnee, but they're making it look easy.
They do make it look easy, and obviously you can see down the other side of the road just our fun runners, the people out there just having a go, enjoying the day, enjoying the beautiful conditions that Launceston's put on. So yeah, it's an event for everyone.
Yeah, well said. Obviously, thanking all the sponsors today. I'm going to try and remember them all. We've got Optus, we've got Hearts, we've obviously got Think Big, McGrath, the naming rights, City of Launceston, and we just want to thank all the volunteers that come along as well to set up an amazing day. It all happens very quickly, and within a few hours it's all over, but it takes months and years for Richard to build this event to what it is. So it's great to see the community of Launceston get together, and winter sucks, but today is a beautiful day. So
yeah, it's been average weather in Hobart. I don't know what it's been like in Launceston, but today's an absolute pearl. If we talk about distance running, 10, 11 degrees, no wind, this is fantastic. The sun's out, so hopefully people are enjoying it, and we shouldn't go past that. One of our sponsors in Brooks Running, obviously we threw out a little challenge there on the Facebook page. If you could pick the time, you get a pair of shoes, so we'd better not forget them. No,
definitely, and we'll be following that up after the live stream to see who got the closest in the men's and women's and pick the times. But look at Jimbo, he's looking pretty relaxed. He's the one that's pushing the pace now. He did this sort of probably a little bit earlier last year. He got away from Sam McEntee, and yeah, at the moment, I mean, it's too hard to pick.
Yeah, it looked like they went past that. I'm assuming that's the 8K marker there, so they went past the roundabout still in race record-ish time, so they're still progressing really, really well, but I don't think we're going to know this one, and it doesn't have the same turnaround that the half did, so they are literally out and back on the same course, so it's going to be interesting to see who makes the move, when they make the move. There's a little downhill coming up. We're under the bridge, so maybe that's where someone's going to make the move, but they all look comfortable, and they're all running really, really well.
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. I just saw Brett then looking off to the left, sort of, admiring the scenery. So he's obviously looking and feeling pretty comfortable. Jimbo looking strong there as well, and Ed Mark's on debut. This is a huge run on debut. He's going to run a PB obviously, but I think a sub 29 performance is probably looking more likely than not, and that's a great debut to run sub 29.
And then on the screen we've obviously got Andre Waring off the back, and then that's Sammy Clifford. So this is a good run for Sam.
That's awesome. Sammy trains hard. He works hard. He works at a little shop just around the corner from me, and he's just progressed, and he's got a lot of support around him, and he's a super talented kid. So we can't wait to see what he does over the next few years.
And we flick back to Leanne. We can't see Lisa in the camera vision, so it looks like it's a one-person race, but she looks quite comfortable. Hopefully she'll get a drag from the guys who are in front of her now, and she'll progress quite quickly, be able to maintain her pace. But it's not the course record kind of setup that you'd want as a lady, by yourself, no racing essentially.
Yeah, 2021 it was that battle with Jen Gregson. There was about three that sort of came down to the wire. There was only about 10 seconds between the top three. So the field, spread out a little bit, but Leanne's, she's moving really well. A 10K race, you sort of can time trial it. It's not as tough as doing a half. She's fit. She's moving really, really well, and she's up there with the best in Australia for sure in the women's. Obviously Zatopek, great result. She's flying. Not sure what else we can say, Shawnee, mate.
We've pumped her up well and truly, but we just saw they flicked across to the male footage there, and we just saw that Brett looks like he's taken up the pace making again. Ed on his shoulder, and Jimbo just sitting in behind. This is the section where it is a little bit downhill. They're coming up towards the 9K, well, just there, the 9K mark. So we've got 1 kilometre to go. They are basically spot on the race record. This could be extremely quick if they're going to race this last kilometre.
Yeah, no, they've done well, because from the K marker at the 6K marker, they're about 10 seconds behind race record. They're about 2 at the moment. And Brett's gone now. He's just had a little look, and he's put on the afterburners. We're going to see if Jimbo can go with him. But this is, not a surprise. Brett's a strong guy. I thought he would have wanted to go from further out. But if Jimbo can just hold in there, we'll just, you know, you wouldn't want him there with the last 500, but I think Brett's, he must be feeling pretty confident because he's put a little distance in a short space of time.
It's very interesting. He gave him a little look, didn't he? And then he just put his head down like a normal runner would do. He's not, let's say he's not normal, but like a normal runner would do. The run-of-the-mill sort of everyday person put their head down and off they go. And he's opened that up. Jimbo's responded and he's dropped Ed, but it looks like that Brett might have had a big enough gap there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of shake and bake there, I think, from Brett. He sort of just turned the afterburners on. You know, at the moment, geez, he'd be moving sort of, you know, 23, this little down here, 24, 25 k's an hour. He's going to fly into Gladdo Street. He's got less than 600 to go. A little check at the watch. Yeah, race record could really be under threat right now.
Yeah, 100%. And we shouldn't discount the others, but Brett is a calibre of athlete above. We're talking about an Oceania record holder, two-time Australian or dual Australian record holder. He is a highly credentialed athlete, a world-class athlete, and been a runner for a very, very long time, World Juniors and all that. But we're talking about this race record. I'd imagine will go. This won't stand past today.
Well, it's 27, 23, 24. So he's a minute away, or just over a minute. So interesting to see. A battle for second, though. Ed Marks has just pushed across, and he's got a little gap on James. It's just once we flick around with this camera.
I think they're coming into the. They are. I can see the lead motorbike. This is quick, and fantastic to see that that Ed on debut has been able to go with this move. But it looks like it's going to be Brett, and if we can get the motorbike out of the way, we'll be able to see a little bit more.
Here we go.
And here he comes.
So Robbo, 28. So look, he's going to shave. He's going to shave probably 20 seconds off. But look, good response here from Ed. He's closed the gap there, and then Jimbo's coming back in him as well. So, I don't know, bad camera angle. So
it's fantastic. This is going to be a race record, and unofficially, it's going to be 28:12, which is 20 seconds off that race record. They were behind it at halfway, and he's smashed that race record, holds both of them now. Ed Marks in second, and James Hansen 28:21. He's been beaten, and he's run 28:21.
So I mean, pretty much Jimbo's just ran a PB not only for 10k road, 10k track. He's taken 39 seconds off his time from last year. I mean, yeah, you don't see that, you know, in a year to run 39 second PB from what was a PB last year. Yeah, beautiful weather, Launceston. I think that's helped a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. He's literally gone from one year to the other, run 30 seconds quicker and finished third. Won it last year and finished third the next year. And Andre Waring about to come over the line. We've just lost his feed, but there he is. So he's run 29 minutes, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think it almost could be a PB 29:03, so it'll be interesting to see just what the official time is, but it could have been a PB. And Sammy Clifford, he's going to probably take about, at this stage, probably 15 seconds off his PB, so 29:33. I can't see the angle from here.
He's just finished
He's just finished, so yeah, he's taken at least 15 seconds off his PB as well, so that's a huge result. And Leanne, look at her flying now, so 29:25. Geez, the race record for the women's could be under threat as well, and she's sort of done it solo.
Yeah, it hasn't been the race we thought it was, as we see some finishers come over, and these are quick times, so we're still talking under 30 minutes. 3-minute Ks here, they're still talking, they're coming in. But Leanne is moving really, really comfortably now. She's got to make that right-hand turn, and then it's not too far to the finish line.
No, exactly right. And look, we've just got another one coming over the line.
There's Logan Janetsky.
So Logan Janetsky, not a PB, but still huge to break 30 minutes.
Archie Reid from another one of the Bendigo boys. I think this is Matt Buckle, so they're coming over. This is around the 30-minute mark.
And look, honestly, as a runner, it's the worst feeling when the clock ticks over and you've ran 30 dead or 30:01. It's a magical barrier to break the 30-minute mark, and there'll be a few unhappy fellas, I think, at the end of the night, just missing out by a couple of seconds.
Yeah, some Tassie locals there, Bailey Mazecki Hintz and
Dougie Hamlock.
Hamlock, which is a pretty good run for Dougie. I know there's some other things going on in his life, family and those kind of things, so that's a really good run.
Yeah, no, and he works a lot as well, so, and he had a pretty bad injury, so that's a huge comeback to run low 30s off not much training. But Leanne's coming in the chute now, and we're looking at the clock, so 30:37. She's going to smash.
She's still got a minute.
Yeah, I thought she was coming in there. I'm getting tricked by the camera. It's hard to know how far out do you reckon? Well, she's probably 400 from here.
It's going to be very, very close. She's still got a minute from here to get home, so hopefully that will. She's going to turn left very shortly and then be in the finishing chute. And there is a chance that this is a double race record that goes down today.
Definitely, and I mean she'll get that race bonus of $1,000, so that always helps. So we come across, so she got 40 seconds from now. I think she's going to do it. And that's a huge run. She's done it obviously with a couple around her, but she's pushed the pace all on her own. That's a huge run to run a race record effectively on your own.
Oh yeah,
time
here she
trial.
is. She's coming down now, so she's almost at the finish line. She's going to come through, and she needs 31:49, but this is going to be 31:37
or 8. It's
somewhere
still race
around there.
record, so
Race record.
That's huge. So 10 seconds off, and look, comes across the line, barely puffing. I mean, that would have hurt a little bit, but that's a huge run. That's gonna carry her through, the rest of the year. And I mean, just a star of Australian athletics.
Yeah, clearly a fantastic run, and to have two race records in 1 year is just absolutely amazing.
Well, it's good advertising for next year for Welshie. There's nothing better than having both the men and female records go. But a lot of PBs out here today as well.
And Lisa Waitman there, 32:10. So actually not too far outside of her sort of road PB, and a really good run with the marathon in her legs from February.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how people do marathons, let alone 2 in 7 days, but she's extremely fit. She's she's been around quite a while, a very decorated athlete, as we said, and she'll just be working towards next year for Paris. It's huge for these guys. You sort of think racing about next year, but for these guys, everything has to go right between now and then. There's a lot that they've got to work towards, a lot of little things and challenges, and from sort of right now till Olympic starts, you sort of no injuries, no niggles. You want to have smooth sailing and just get better and better and peak at the right time for that magical event that normally only happens once in every 4 years, but a little thing called COVID gave us a late one in Tokyo.
Just on the screen, Jimmy Hansen.
About a month ago, and my last month I've had really consistent weeks, lots of Ks and good
There's an audio there from Jim. We got to see him though. He'd be pretty stoked with that run. He's done really good, really good job there. Obviously, spoke about his win last year and how important that was for him. I think he's going to take as much away from this third as he would have from that win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you had the choice between winning the race and running 39 seconds quicker than you did the year before, or 29 seconds, it's a tough choice, really. You love the win, but that's a huge run. He's now putting himself at the top echelon. Based on that, if he gets in the right race on a track, he's probably going to be a sub 28 minute 10k runner. So.
Yeah, and as we said, he's got a real decision to make about his event that he's going to go with for the Olympic sort of qualification period. But we shouldn't take anything away from the winner. Brett, obviously off a marathon sort of 6 weeks ago, in phenomenal shape to run the course record. He is one that we do look forward to going and doing a fast marathon and seeing exactly how far he can go. 2:07, I don't think is the peak of his performance. I can go quicker than that.
Yeah, it's just scary even saying it, running 2:07 for a marathon. And to break Deke's record as well. That's huge. That's just been around for so long. So. He's cemented himself as one of Australia's greatest ever and very versatile. That last 2K, I think he would have ran in, almost, probably under 5 minutes 30 as well. So, yeah, huge kick, and that's good signs because, come later, especially next year, being a marathon runner, you need stamina, but you almost need to have that little kick, and Brett's certainly still got that based on that last 2K. He's a force.
Yeah, it was just fantastic running. It would have been really nice to see Izzy out there today and see exactly where she would have gotten that field. I think it would have been a really good tune-up for her as well. And we've got all these athletes, as Brett said, and Izzy, when I interviewed her last night, said that they are going to head to the Gold Coast. That'll be the half marathon, and then they'll start to prepare for the marathons later in the year.
Yeah, no, this is a good kickstart. So, I mean, it's a massive thank you to everyone that's come out today. All the sponsors, all the supporters, and all the participants. Obviously, we're on the live screen. We're talking about the elite athletes because they're at the front of the field where the camera is. But it doesn't matter whether you're a 50-minute 10k runner, an hour 10k runner. It's just great to have people out there, and to have over 1,800 people come across for this event's a wonderful thing.
You won last year, 31 minutes and 38 seconds, a new official personal best. You are the fastest female to ever run 10 kilometres on Australian soil. How's that feel?
Feels pretty good, yeah. That was on my mind, and you know, like you said before the race, it's a great day. So if you feel good, just go for it.
We'll let that soak in for you. Congratulations. We'll chat more with you later on, but congratulations. That is so good. 31:38. You are the fastest female ever in Australia.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, huge run. So, as Richard was just saying there, probably should have picked
Coming
up on
down
that.
now, so she's almost at the finish line. She's going to come through, and she needs 31:49.
No,
this
just on Australian soil. So
yeah.
there was a race record for obviously Benita Willis back in 2006. She ran 31:17, so a touch off that, but yeah, that's a huge result.
Yeah, that's the Australian all-comers record. So it has to be run on Australian soil. Obviously, yeah, that's a fantastic performance, and yeah, you're right, we should have picked up on that, but I guess you don't always expect those things to go down either.
No, I mean, you know, it's tough for her being out solo, but you know, to run a PB, yeah, she'll be ecstatic with that.
They are coming in fast today.
And as the athletes come through, we're still under the 40. We're still not even at the 40-minute mark. We're still talking about 4-minute Ks here, and it sort of seems like forever since the elites had finished. But it's a fantastic event for everyone. Obviously, perfect conditions, as Leanne said, and it was perfect to go fast.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I imagine most people now, obviously we've got a Monday public holiday, so thank you to the King for that. Everyone get out, support your local cafes, pop across to Mud Bar. I think they're an awesome sponsor here, and the silos put up a lot of our athletes. So we hope everyone has a really good Sunday, and we can't wait to. Are we signing off here, Sean? Am I going too early? What
no, we're signing off, but
we are signing off.
We can't wait for Bernie. I guess Richard, again, we haven't seen the fields, but I'd imagine that Bernie's field will be strong. Whether Stewie's back in the country, then I don't know, but you know, Jack might be back, but Richard's fields are always so strong, and it's fantastic to have the elite of the elite down here and participating.
Imagine having a 10K with Jack, Brett, Stewie, Liam Adams. Geez, even Ollie Hoare, he's you know, like, I mean, Bernie's got the potential to, shape up as probably one of the greatest ever Australian distance races, or 10K races in Australia. If Richard can pull some strings, obviously at that time of year they're all going to be focusing on something different, but we look forward to Bernie for sure.
Well, good. Thank you for joining the live telecast, and hopefully you have a lovely Sunday afternoon.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next year.
And we are about to do our presentations for the 1 mile.
We're building an incredible team who is serving our community, and vice versa, our community feel like they can come home to through us. Whether it's aspiring to build something greater, potentially a development, or maybe it's their first home. It's about putting that puzzle together, their wants, their needs, and then our experience and making it all fit. They've got a family which wants the best for them. Let us guide you home.
Find your cushy place in the Brooks Ghost 15.
We're building an incredible team who is serving our community, and vice versa, our community feel like they can come home to through us. Whether it's aspiring to build something greater,